Good evening, ladies.
Hey.
Evening.
Welcome back. We've been missing in action for about 3 weeks, but we are back, and Bonnie is fresh back from her vacation, laying by the pool, enjoying the sun. You had a good time, girl?
I did. I enjoyed it. I need to go again tomorrow.
Well,
Very relaxed, Bonnie.
I'm going in
very
your place
relaxed.
tomorrow. I'm going in your place tomorrow.
Okay, good.
So, hey, you guys out there, please subscribe, like us, share, and leave us a comment. We have got a wonderful guest with us tonight. Her name is Tammie, and she's coming to chat with us about relationships. So here we go. I am going to invite Tammie in. Ladies, are you ready?
Yes.
Ready.
And Tammie is coming on.
Hey, Tammie.
Hey, Tammie, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
So Tammie, that is Wendy. I think she's probably going to be in the right-hand side, upper right-hand corner. That's Wendy.
Mm-hmm.
Then
I don't know why my name doesn't show. How you doing, Kim?
And then you remember Bonnie from Women Going Green, right?
Yeah.
And our photo shoot. She did a beautiful
yes, exactly.
photo shoot.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So how have you been, Tammie?
I've been doing good. I just got back from 11-day trip to visiting my mother in a way, because she was actually on a trip. I was like dog sitting and house sitting while she was in New York City on the Today Show. She always wanted to be in that on-air audience.
Oh, nice.
So she did that.
She was in the audience? She was in the audience?
Outside. And then they chose her and my sister to go inside and Hoda and Jenna. So that's like the third hour of the Today Show. So she did that. I kind of saw her on the front end of the trip and then the back end of the trip.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So
so are you still doing a little bit of acting here and there?
Whenever I'm booked. So I'm waiting to hear back from something regarding the movie Creed. So
Creed 2?
Yeah, they actually had finished filming, but then they had to, I guess they needed to do some additions to add something or whatever. So I'm just waiting on that.
Okay.
And something.
You still doing photography?
Yes, I'm doing. I actually worked yesterday.
Good. Excellent.
Well, nice. Well, Tammie, we talk about relationships. We are all women over 50. So, we're getting back or in the dating pool, trying to meet that special someone that hopefully we can share whatever this, life we have left on this side of the wonderful life that we are all living right now. So Wendy and Vanya, I would like to ask you some questions just about dating, getting another perspective on it. So I am going to let Wendy start off with her first question for you.
Hey, Tammie. Hi. Welcome to the episode. We're so happy to have you too, by the way. The question that our last episode was about interracial dating, and it got a little juicy on that episode. So I thought we would kind of continue and invite you in on that question. So my question is, wait a minute, where's my question?
Going somewhere.
Did you find it?
That is not.
Well, I have it if you want me to just say it.
Yeah, would you?
Okay, so her first question is, what are your thoughts on dating interracial dating?
I think you should go for it. I don't think Black men have a second thought, when it comes to it. At the end of the day, it's just going to be you and that person. And if you guys get along, part of connecting with one another is appreciating and knowing about each other's culture. So I think, yeah, go for it. Why not? This is 2022.
Okay. All right. And then the second part of that question is, do you have any experience with it that you'd be willing to share?
Yes, I dated out of my race. I've dated two gentlemen, actually, that were two Caucasian gentlemen. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, obviously, we didn't get married, but it wasn't a bad experience. All relationships, whether you're in the same race or not, you're not meant to marry everybody you date, right? So, but I didn't have that experience with it at all. We just broke up for other reasons that would be the same reasons as if that person was the same race as me.
Hey, so I have a question for you along that same line. Did you feel comfortable, like when you first met them and you went out on a date? Were you comfortable?
And initially I wasn't. I was younger. The first time that I had started dating out of my race, and then when I was older, no, not as much. No, I was okay with it.
So let me ask you another question, because of dating someone outside of your race, what was the conversation topics like? What did you talk about? As when you got older, not when you were young, but I guess your most recent one, whatever that was.
Oh wow. I can't think of anything that was specific. There was never a scenario situation that resulted in, okay, we got to talk about this because of race or anything like that. So I didn't have any encounters like that. I think in the beginning, I think we do ask that question. So, am I the first Black woman you ever dated?
Right.
Right. So I remember that. And then I think you just kind of extended off of that question. We just said yes, or we said no. And like, how do you feel about it? I don't know. Let me get to know you. And then as time just went on, we just dated. Right. I don't recall any eye-opening thing that made me feel like, oh, I got to rethink this. I don't think I could ever date her. So I never had that situation. So.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Wendy, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
Yeah, just on that line, if you don't mind, Tammie, were the dates anything out of the ordinary, or were they pretty much the same type of dates that you would have with a Black gentleman that you were dating?
Pretty much. The last person, let me see, the person that I moved down to Atlanta with, he was white. But yeah, they pretty much. I think, like I said, we broke up for other reasons that weren't race related. They could have, like I said, happened with the same race, but I can't think of anything that made me feel.
So your dates that you went on were pretty much the same, I'm saying, types of dates.
Yeah, pretty much. We may have had some differences in music or something like that, but it really wasn't a big thing or whatever, because I remember him liking, some R&B music that I like. Don't get me wrong, I like pop music and other genres of music and things like that, but there wasn't anything that was really, really deep. I was accepted by his family and his friends. Both times.
That's really important. You're right, Mom.
Yeah.
So, I think that's one of the major things that we tend to think like, okay, what is his mother gonna think? Like,
right.
You guys must have been pretty serious then, Tammie.
What do you mean? Because I met his family?
Well, and you moved here. I think you said you moved here.
Oh, yeah, when I moved, yes. Yeah, we were. And I think at the time he wanted a change of scenery and get away. And so he said, you know what, I have family down in the area too. Let's move down there. And I was excited because my sister was here, and I was like, okay, cool, let's, so it wasn't like I was just moving away to somewhere, but I was moving where someone wasn't there. My sister was down here, so it really wasn't that big of a deal.
Right.
So.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. And that's really interesting. So because we talked about that, like Wendy said, a couple of weeks ago, and we were all over the place. So Vonnie, did you have a few questions that you wanted to ask?
Yeah. I just wanted to know, Tammie, do you feel like COVID has changed the face of dating?
I do think so, a little bit. It's just now we have monkeypox added into it.
I know, right? Ugh.
How I think it's changed it from the perspective of what is this person's concerns with health and wellness? Like, do they, Are they kind of relaxed about it? Some people are really stern about it. I think
it kind of brings politics into play too.
It does. And you're going to kind of butt heads at some point, because if you're a person that believes in vaccination and that person that you're interested in doesn't believe in vaccination,
right.
It's kind of like two religions. Are we going to get along?
I know, right? That's true.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yes. Okay. So I like to wear my mask, and I'm concerned about, getting sick, and the other person may not be that concerned. I may have these not psychological, but these theories and all this stuff.
Right.
So
right.
that's what I think is that's what I think is happening now. Yes.
I got that. And that's so very, very true. Today's world is so up and down. I think when I was thinking of the question, I was thinking of the time span that we had to stay indoors, away from people, like one almost a real year, and then the other you kind of branch it out. So that's 2 years. And then we're still on the scope of it. It's 3 years. And, I just felt like that. We weren't going to parties. We weren't socializing. It cut our chances of meeting people for a few years, which, those years add up to age years.
I know we lost some time.
Well, yeah, I think the main part of the meeting people were we were covered up, right? So we had masks on, so you don't even know how the person truly looked. So
right.
that was the biggest part. And then we had to stay 6 feet apart, right? So you had those two factors. So literally, if you didn't really have anybody at the time before going into COVID, yeah, it did put a damper on trying to meet somebody.
Yes. So I know that you had said that you were looking for compatibility in a relationship. And I wanted to know, what are you looking for? How do you look for it? How do you feel like you find it in a person?
I think the first thing, the prelude before compatibility would be, is this person a best friend? Okay, because a friendship, I think, is a good foundation for a relationship. And then the compatibility factors have to play a role when you now want to take that best friend to that relationship. Are we a good fit? Does he get me? Do I get him? Do we click? Do we have a lot of things in common? Do we vibe? So those are the first things, right? So you gotta truly like that person. This person is your best friend, because not everybody can say that, and that's where that comes from. We hear later on the line where I married my best friend, because when you have that foundation, you just you may get along a little better. You may get along better. Having the same, recreational stuff. Do we like doing the same things together? And another important one to me is intellectual. So can we carry on conversations? Like the person now that's considered my best friend, like I just love talking with him. And, I love, like, okay, what's going to be our topic today? When we talk about something, and then when I'm watching television or see something online or whatever,
you want to call them and
wonder what he's thinking about this.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it, because I think as we get older, it's important to have that companionship of being able to have fun with that. That's another thing. Have fun with that person and have conversations with that person. You don't want a situation where it's just day in, day out, the mundane of dinner, domestic stuff, sitting there watching TV. You just really want to, enjoy that company of that person. And do they make you laugh? Do they make you laugh? Do they make you feel good inside? So that's, those are the things that I look for. And do we have the same spiritual connection? Not necessarily just religion, but when it comes to commonality about things. And
right, does he have your back?
yeah, And then we have the emotional piece. Does he make me feel comfortable? Can I be vulnerable and telling him things and not feeling uncomfortable? So so many different parts. I'm like a puzzle, so to speak, or a recipe. And then lastly, does he pour into me and I pour into him? It's kind of like, when I want to make coffee now, or I make coffee, I think about that person. So compatibility, I think we don't think enough of that anymore nowadays. It's just, you like me, I like you. Okay, let's go out, and before we know, we just diving into relationships because of attraction, and
That is so true.
A relationship because we just slept together. So now are you my man? So
yeah.
That part.
it's that surface stuff, but we don't really we need to go below the surface and just make sure that this is somebody that I can spend the rest of my life with, because I know life is short. But if you're with the wrong person, life is long.
Life is long, yes.
I love that. Yes. Life is long with the wrong person.
So Tammie, I know that you were married previously. How long have you been divorced?
I have been divorced a little over 3 years, May 2019.
Have you been in any serious relationships since your divorce?
I have not. However, I have had a romantic relationship or involvement with this person that I call my best friend. But we haven't put a label on it, or, he wasn't ready, and, okay, so if he's not ready or whatever, I don't okay, so I just kind of leave it alone. But no, not where I have been titled as his girlfriend, or or him being my boyfriend. So no, I haven't.
So the gentleman that you're speaking of now is really the first serious encounter since your whether you're close friends or otherwise, since your divorce, correct? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and I've known him. I've known him previously, so it was just kind of a reconnect since my divorce.
Right.
Just he gets me, I get him, and we have fun. We have fun together. He's he's that type of person that I can sing in the car with him or whatever.
And you know
Yeah.
what? Sometimes you have to go away to come back together, whether that's to grow, to develop, do whatever. So I've heard lots of stories where people have come back together, or it's their high school sweetheart, and they married them. So, anything can happen at that rate. So a question for you, dating after you're after 50 can be challenging. I don't know where your age range is, so this is just a general question. Do you think that it's more challenging for older women trying to date older men? And the reason I ask that, because it seems like so often older men are looking for younger women.
It's hard to say. So I don't know. I have to honestly say I have not encountered a man that either I was interested in or he was interested in me, and he was 50 or over. So I don't know his age. Now he may have looked 50. I don't know. I didn't engage in a conversation for him to tell me his birth date or whatever. I think it is a little challenging because for the most, and from what I've heard from women that I know, from girlfriends and women that I see on TikTok making videos every day about dating, about the 50 and over. I believe the men that are 50 and over, they, especially, when it comes to marriage, because I know for a lot of women, the goal is marriage, right?
Right.
But if a man that's 50 has never been married, and he's now wanting to be married, let's say he's 54, 55 or whatever. I know this is going to sound bad, but I think that he may be just settling down because he really has no choice now at this point, right? So he's, age is creeping in, and he may have in his mindset, okay, the next woman I'm involved with, I'm going to marry her, right? Not even knowing if that's going to be the right fit or whatever. Right. But a lot of men pass up in their prime, which would have been the correct mate for them. But they wanted to kind of run the streets and feel, like they had a little swagger in them and everything. And then when they get to 50, then it's kind of like a light bulb goes off. Like, hey, you know what? I probably should start thinking about settling down. And then just whoever
Right.
he's with, he may just latch on to that person to do that. Now, you asked me, do I think they would be younger? Now, that's only going to matter if they still may want to try to squeeze out a child.
Right, that's true.
Or B,
squeeze out.
or B, or
Yes.
I know what you mean.
I know what you mean. Or B, I need somebody that's stable with X, Y, and Z. So I know a lot of women usually have themselves together, where it may be having their own house, or their own business or whatever. I think that they may take that route because this particular woman, she may have those things, right? And will you marry me? And so I that's my thought behind it, when they get to be that age. Because I believe because men control marriage, women control sex.
That's true.
So all this time when they were in their prime, I believe that they passed up wonderful women who probably would have loved to have been their wife and gave them a family and and everything. But they didn't do it.
That is so true. So, okay, so then we need to find those guys that are looking to settle down because they missed out on their prime.
Yeah. So yeah. And you want to make sure they're not looking for a nursemaid either. So
that's true as well.
Oh God, yeah.
Time. Looking for
Absolutely.
someone to take care of them as they're getting older. Well, you know what?
Yep.
As long if it's mutual, if both people are looking for the same thing, then I guess it does work. So everybody out there, we're sitting here, we're talking to Tammie, and she's dropping some gems on us. Good conversation. So listen, please leave us a comment, like, share, subscribe. This is your YouTube channel for dating, for love, for finding love, and we want everybody to leave comments. Let us know what you think, and let us know if there's any type of conversation that you would like to hear.
Yes, please.
Ladies, I think I thought I did something there. I'm sorry. I think I hit the wrong thing. I apologize. That was crazy. All right. So Tammie, you wanted to talk about a few things. Anything on your mind specifically that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah. I think when it comes to love and relationships, and I know I said this earlier, I know a lot of us are always looking, and be on dating sites, and I have been too. I think at the end of the day that if we have encountered a guy friend and we do start to find ourselves attracted to them, and see if it, and maybe it's vice versa, and you have that foundation with that person as a friendship, maybe see if it can be taken to another level. You just never know. And I think if we, just, how can I say, just let go, let love, and, let God. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we can get out of the mode of thinking about me, even though we know it's just me, and think of us, whoever that potential mate or husband, boyfriend may be. In terms of saying us, I think that's that moment when things will start to happen, and you will meet that person, because sometimes we have to get out of our way, and we're always you know, thinking he should be this, he should be that, and, you know, this way and that way and whatever. You know, I just
So
think
Tam,
that,
let
go
me
ahead.
ask you this real quick. Are you a person that feels like you would go out of your comfort zone?
Depending on what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Let's say you meet somebody and you all aren't really the same type of person, but there is some sort of an attraction there. And maybe in order to hang with this person, you might have to step out of your comfort zone a little bit in, you know, their world for a minute.
That's interesting. And I can see that. And again, it's going to depend on once I get out of my comfort zone, at any point in time, do I ever feel comfortable? Okay, so
But
with this,
do you have an example, Bonnie? Do you have an example?
Not that I can just think of off the top of my head, but you know, sometimes we go out with guys that are more let's say a little more flamboyant than you. Okay, they may dress a certain way, but there's a chemistry between you and that person. But if you're going out with them, they look one way and you look another way, and you know it's a difference. So I'm saying, would you get out your comfort zone, like, and change a little way of dressing or whatever to, you know, hang out with the person?
To meet whatever his standards are?
Yeah, but and that doesn't be forever. I'm just saying.
honestly, probably not, because now I am not being myself. And I want to,
Good point.
I want to, you know, that's another thing. You want to be able to be yourself with that person and not necessarily have to change to conform or make them feel comfortable. You don't want to give up that part of yourself. You don't want to, for example, I will say, you know, I have a love of photography. So that's not to say, you know, oh, I can't, you know, I'll put it to you this way. Even though I love photography, yeah, it would be great if I met a person who is into photography, or at least the creative community in terms of me, like I work in the television and film industry as well, because then they're gonna understand me in terms of what I do, my job, and there won't be any confusion or like, why is she doing this? Oh, I just don't understand why because that's me. And I have a passion for photography. I love the arts. When you met me, that was who I am, what I'm about. So you have to love that, you know, that part of me. So
well, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I would not change myself. I don't like dogs. I'm not an animal person. I'm not going to even attempt to have I don't care how fine you are. If you got dogs at home and they live with you, I'm glad you're happy.
be a deal breaker with certain things. And like one of mine are now going forward are drinking and smoking. Drinking and smoking. And I know a lot of people say, well, you know, just because you know, you had a bad situation with your last person doesn't mean it's going to be that with the new person. That is true. But if, you know, if I'm, you know, it could be, you know, bring back flashbacks of things, and I don't drink or whatever. So that may be a little bit difficult for me when I don't drink. Okay, I don't smoke. So obviously, just like you just mentioned, Chris, so it doesn't matter how fine or attractive they are, they're going to be unattractive to me when I see them light up a cigarette. Right?
Exactly.
I'm not, you know, so that's a deal breaker to me. The drinking, smoking, yeah.
And we have deal breakers also.
Yeah, yeah, I think we did. We did have those were a couple of our excess drinking.
Yes.
Yes. Sagging pants, that was a deal breaker.
We had lots of them actually.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for me, see, I don't want like the daredevil type of guy. You know what I mean? The skydiving, mountain climbing.
Oh, you don't like that, Wendy? Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
But
Okay,
see, that
right.
goes back to where I talked about compatibility, and within compatibility, you have recreation, you have
Yeah.
intellect, you have spiritual, you have sex. So I understand not gonna always, you know, if that person likes to ski and hike and go on mountains, you already know from the get-go, from the beginning, that's just not gonna work, right?
Yeah, because you're not going to be able to spend the quality time with that person.
you're not gonna
doing
want to do
things-
those.
Yeah.
Right.
I,
You're not doing
I would
the same
try.
thing.
I would try to ski. I would try that. Certain things I'm gonna try, but then there are certain ones that no way in hell. You
Yeah.
know?
So that's part of the compatibility.
Yes.
And yes, again, like I said, I know a lot of times we as women, we latch on, oh, he has a pension, he has a house, he has a nice
Right.
car. Oh yeah, okay, let's get together. But
Right.
then what about other things that he brings to the table, you know, that he likes to do? And part of bringing things to the table, are you sharing things at the table with me? And if you
Exactly.
Mhm.
No, you're
Part-
right. Compatibility is definitely that's just a big one from day one, no matter how old you are. And like you said, I
True.
think people have
Yes.
gotten away from that. I haven't, because there's just certain things that I'm just not going to I'm not gonna be involved with. Don't even get it started. If you know it's not for you, don't even start.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
I mean, if you don't have, in other words, don't give attention to something you have no intention of like being a part of, right?
Yes. I like
If
that.
I like that. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Very nice.
you know, telling you from the get-go on day one that he's into this and he does that. And you know in your mind, oh, I'm never doing that. That's never doing that, just that's the thing. We have to not waste people's time as time is fleeting. And then so when
Exactly.
you find someone that you bond with and you truly want to embrace that. And just
No, you're absolutely right. Well, Tammie, it has been a pleasure talking to you, and thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. It's always good to get a different perspective. Ladies, do you
Yes.
have anything that you want to share with Tammie before we close out?
Tammie, it was great talking to you. I enjoyed the conversation. Please come back again and be a guest.
I would love to.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we enjoyed your perspective. Very nice.
Yes.
We definitely want you to come back when that relationship blossoms into something
Yeah,
else.
sounds like that one has potential.
Well, guys, hey, listen, everyone out there, please remember to